What is the difference between Nile crocodiles and saltwater crocodiles? Have you ever looked at a crocodile and thought, wait, which one is that? Is it the one that hunts wildebeests on the Nile River, or the monster that can swim across the ocean? Are they the same animal? Are they equally dangerous? And most importantly, if you somehow ended up in the water with one of them, would it even matter which species it was? Spoiler, yes, it would matter. A lot. Today, we are going to talk about two of the most powerful, most feared, and most impressive animals on the planet: the Nile crocodile and the saltwater crocodile. These two giants are often confused for each other, and honestly, from a safe distance behind a screen, that is completely understandable. They are both enormous. They are both ancient. They both have that look in their eyes that says they have not updated their personality in about 200 million years and have no plans to start. But once you start paying attention, they are actually quite different. Different continents, different lifestyles, different sizes, different behaviors. By the end of this video, you will know exactly who is who, what makes each one unique, and why both of them deserve a serious amount of respect. Let's start from the beginning. Where do they come from? The Nile crocodile, known scientifically as Crocodilus niloticus, is Africa's largest predator and one of the most widely distributed reptiles on the continent. It gets its name from the Nile River, but its range goes far beyond that. You can find Nile crocodiles across sub-Saharan Africa, in countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, Ethiopia, and even Madagascar. They have been found in 26 countries across Africa. There are even a small number that were discovered in the Florida Everglades, most likely released from the exotic pet trade, which is a story that absolutely nobody asked for. The saltwater crocodile, or Crocodilus porosus, lives on the other side of the world. Its range stretches from eastern India through Southeast Asia, countries like Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Papua New Guinea, all the way down to northern Australia. The Australians have a nickname for it, the Salty. And if you have ever been to the Northern Territory in Australia, you have probably seen signs warning you about them near every single body of water. That is not an exaggeration. Those signs are everywhere. Who is bigger? This is the question everyone wants answered first. And the answer is pretty clear. The saltwater crocodile is bigger. It is officially recognized as the largest living reptile on Earth in terms of both length and weight. That is not a competition result. It's a scientific fact. Adult male saltwater crocodiles typically reach between 14 to 16 feet in length, but the larger and older ones regularly exceed 18 to 20 feet. The truly massive individuals can approach or even surpass 23 feet. Their weight ranges between 880 to 2,200 pounds for large males, with some exceptional specimens reportedly exceeding 3,300 pounds. To put that in perspective, that is heavier than a small car. The Nile crocodile is no joke either. Adult males usually range from 11.5 to 16 feet in length and weigh between 500 and 1,650 pounds. The very largest individuals have been measured at over 20 feet, and the biggest one officially recorded was shot near Mwanza, Tanzania. It came in at 21.16 feet, and weighed around 2,400 pounds. That is extraordinary for any land or semi-aquatic predator. So yes, the saltwater crocodile holds the overall size record. But here's the interesting part. At similar lengths, Nile crocodiles tend to be bulkier and stockier in build. A Nile crocodile and a saltwater crocodile at the same length may actually weigh similar amounts because the Nile crocodile has a heavier, more robust body. The saltwater crocodile grows longer, but the Nile crocodile packs more mass per meter, at least in the mid-size range. Can you tell them apart? If you manage to get close enough to compare two of them side by side, which again is not recommended, you would notice some clear visual differences. The Nile crocodile has a yellowish-brown or olive coloration, often with a mottled dark pattern along its back. Its underside is usually pale or cream-colored. The skin has a slightly rough, heavily scaled look that helps it blend into muddy riverbanks and shallow waters. The snout is relatively long and medium width, tapered toward the front, and like all true crocodiles, you can see its teeth when its mouth is closed, including that distinctive fourth lower tooth that juts out visibly. The saltwater crocodile tends to be darker in color, ranging from gray to almost black along the back, with lighter sides and a pale underbelly. Younger saltwater crocodiles have pale yellow or tan coloring with dark stripes, which fades as they age. The snout of the saltwater crocodile is broader at the base compared to some species, though it still comes to a point. It also has a distinctive pair of ridges that run from the eyes to the nose, which is a feature you do not see on the Nile crocodile. Both species have that classic prehistoric look: short legs, a massive tail, heavily armored back covered in osteoderms, which are bony plates embedded in the skin. Their eyes, nostrils, and ears all sit high on the head, allowing them to stay almost completely submerged while still watching, breathing, and listening. It is a design so effective that evolution has barely touched it in millions of years. Teeth-wise, the saltwater crocodile has around 66 teeth, with some growing as long as 5 inches. The Nile crocodile has a similar count. Neither species chews its food. The teeth are designed purely for gripping and holding. Once something is caught, it is not getting away. Where do they actually live? This is one of the biggest differences between the two, and it comes down to one key word: salt. The Nile crocodile is primarily a freshwater animal. It lives in rivers, lakes, swamps, marshlands, and estuaries across Africa. Its preferred habitat is warm, slow-moving water where it can hunt, rest, and nest. It can occasionally tolerate brackish water, that is, slightly salty water, but it is not adapted to live in the open ocean. It needs fresh water to survive long term. The saltwater crocodile, as the name suggests, is far more flexible. It can live in both freshwater and saltwater environments. It inhabits estuaries, mangrove swamps, coastal waters, river mouths, and even open ocean. It has been recorded traveling over 900 miles from its home range across open sea. Individual saltwater crocodiles have been found more than 100 kilometers inland from the coast. This incredible flexibility in habitat is part of what makes it such a successful and widespread species. The saltwater crocodile manages this feat because it has specialized lingual salt glands on its tongue that actively remove excess salt from its body. The Nile crocodile has these glands too, but they are less efficient, which is why it sticks closer to fresh water. The saltwater crocodile is essentially the long-distance ocean traveler of the crocodile world. It colonized islands and spread across coastal regions of Asia and Australia, partly by swimming enormous distances in the open sea. Because of where they live, these two animals share almost no geographic overlap. If you are on a riverbank in Kenya watching a crocodile drag a wildebeest into the water, that is a Nile crocodile. If you are in a river in the Northern Territory of Australia and something enormous slides into the water near you, that is almost certainly a saltwater crocodile. Geography is your first and most reliable clue. What do they eat? Both species are apex predators. That means nothing in their natural environment hunts them for food. They are at the top of the food chain, and both of them have made ambush hunting into a fine art. The Nile crocodile is famously known for hunting large mammals that come to drink or cross rivers. Wildebeest and zebra migrations in East Africa often turn into a nightmare at river crossings because Nile crocodiles wait patiently just below the surface and strike with explosive speed. They also eat fish, waterfowl, frogs, other reptiles, and occasionally smaller crocodiles. They are completely opportunistic. If something is near the water and catchable, a Nile crocodile will consider it a meal. One fascinating hunting behavior observed in Nile crocodiles is cooperative feeding. This is rare among reptiles. Multiple crocodiles have been documented working together at river crossings, positioning themselves to block escape routes and taking turns feeding. It is not quite the organized teamwork you see in wolves or dolphins, but for a reptile, it is remarkable. The saltwater crocodile has an equally broad diet, and arguably even more versatility given its range of habitats. It preys on fish, crabs, turtles, snakes, water buffalo, cattle, boar, monkeys, and various other animals. In coastal and estuarine environments, it even occasionally takes on sharks. Yes, sharks. The saltwater crocodile has been documented killing sharks in ambush situations near river mouths, which is the kind of sentence that makes you realize how serious this animal is. Both species use the death roll to subdue larger prey, a violent spinning motion that tears flesh and disorients the prey. Combined with a bite force that is among the strongest ever recorded for any living animal, once these crocodiles have something in their grip, the outcome is almost never in question. The Nile crocodile bite force has been measured at around 5,000 pounds per square inch. The saltwater crocodile holds the record for the most powerful bite ever tested in a laboratory setting for any animal. To put that in perspective, a lion bites at around 650 psi, and a human at around 160 psi. These animals could crush bones with ease. How aggressive are they? Here is the honest answer. Both species are extremely dangerous and highly aggressive, and neither of them should ever be underestimated. But there are some differences in how they behave. The Nile crocodile is widely considered responsible for more fatal attacks on humans per year than any other crocodile species. This is partly because of the sheer number of people who live near African waterways and rely on rivers and lakes for drinking water, washing, and fishing. Contact between humans and Nile crocodiles is frequent. The estimated number of fatal Nile crocodile attacks on humans runs into the hundreds each year, though exact figures are difficult to confirm because many attacks in rural Africa go unreported. Nile crocodiles are intensely territorial. They will defend their stretch of riverbank aggressively, and they are particularly dangerous during nesting season. Females guard their nests fiercely, which puts them in more contact with humans than you might expect. They have been known to attack boats, livestock, and anyone who ventures too close to their habitat. Saltwater crocodiles are considered by many wildlife experts to be even more unpredictable. Their ability to move between freshwater and coastal saltwater environments means they can appear in places where people do not expect them. Australia's never swim in croc country rule applies to every single body of water in the Northern Territory, including those that might seem harmless from a distance. Fatal attacks in Australia, Indonesia, and the Philippines are regularly reported. Saltwater crocodiles are also extremely territorial, particularly adult males, who will aggressively defend large stretches of habitat. Some attacks on humans appear to be territorial rather than predatory, meaning the crocodile was not even trying to eat the person, it just wanted them out of its space. That distinction probably feels less meaningful if you are the one being attacked. One fact worth knowing: saltwater crocodiles have been observed attacking objects and individuals much larger than themselves when they feel threatened or territorial. They are not known for backing down. Of all the crocodilians, wildlife experts consistently list the saltwater crocodile and the Nile crocodile as the two species most likely to treat a human as potential prey. Are they threatened? Despite being apex predators, both species face threats from human activity, though their situations are somewhat different. The Nile crocodile is listed as least concern by the International Union for Conservation of Nature, meaning its overall population is not currently at risk globally. The estimated population across Africa stands at roughly 250,000 to 500,000 individuals. However, localized threats are real. Habitat loss, poaching for skins, and conflict with humans have reduced or eliminated populations in some specific regions. Wetland destruction is a growing concern, and the effects of environmental change are shrinking suitable habitat in parts of Africa. Nile crocodiles were once nearly hunted to extinction in some regions during the 20th century, when the skin trade was at its peak. Conservation laws and natural park protections have helped populations recover since then. The saltwater crocodile went through a similar, and in some cases more severe decline during the 20th century, particularly in Australia and Southeast Asia, where they were hunted heavily for their hides. By the 1970s, populations had dropped dramatically. Following legal protections put in place in the 1970s and 1980s, numbers have recovered significantly, particularly in Australia, where the current population is estimated at around 100,000 individuals. The species is also listed as least concern globally, but population in parts of Southeast Asia remain under pressure due to habitat destruction, pollution, and hunting. So let's bring it all together. The Nile crocodile is Africa's top predator. It is a freshwater specialist. It is dark olive to yellowish brown, built stocky and strong, and is responsible for more human fatalities than any other crocodile species. It hunts wildebeest and zebras at river crossings, cooperates with other crocodiles in a way that most reptiles simply do not, and can live for up to 70 years. It is the second largest reptile on Earth. The saltwater crocodile is the largest reptile on Earth, full stop. It can go where no other crocodile can go, estuaries, open coastlines, and across the ocean. It is darker, longer, has broader ridges on its snout, and has the strongest bite ever recorded for a living animal. It is found across the Indo-Pacific, from India to Australia. It is incredibly territorial and unpredictable, and it can live for more than a century. They share the same basic body plan, the same ancient lineage, the same patient, explosive hunting style. But in terms of range, size, adaptability, and behavior, they are two very different animals that have each mastered a completely different part of the world. If there is one thing to take away from all of this, it is that both of these animals are extraordinary. They've been doing what they do for longer than humans have existed, and they are very, very good at it. The Nile crocodile is the ruler of African waterways. It is not the biggest reptile in the world, but in its territory, nothing challenges it. Not lions, not hippos, not humans. It is patient, powerful, and built for the rivers and lakes of Africa. The saltwater crocodile is simply on another level in terms of size and range. It is an ocean-crossing, shark-eating, century-living predator that makes its home across an enormous stretch of the world's coastlines. It is the king of the Indo-Pacific, and it has earned that title. Neither species needs to be feared out of all proportion. Millions of people live near both of these animals across Africa and Asia-Pacific without incident every single day. But they do need to be respected. These are wild animals operating on instincts that have not changed in hundreds of millions of years. They are not aggressive because they are mean. They are aggressive because that is what has kept their species alive. And honestly, that's pretty impressive. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an episode. And if you want to see more content comparing the world's most incredible animals, let us know in the comments. We have got a lot more where this came from.